What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Okay. Uh, I hope everybody's feeling good today. I know I certainly am. Uh, I want to make an apology to my subs and the people that have been watching this channel. I did not do this like I was supposed to. I would say it was a couple of days ago. Had some things going on during that time, and I did not want to be distracted when I'm talking about this subject in particular. Now, let's let's put some things into its proper context. Okay. Now, Michael Jordan, without a doubt, uh, I have as my number one guy. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I mean, he's my goat because I've watched him. I grew up on him. I watched him, and he's done amazing things. Uh, and many people don't know this about me either. I keep it objective as a motherfucker when it comes to Michael Jordan. Okay, I want people to understand that. I don't. Do I sit there and think that Jordan didn't have any flaws? You absolutely smoking. Do I think that there were a lot of people that did a lot of things exceptionally better than Michael Jordan? Absolutely. Uh, However, when it comes to somebody being better than MJ, it was Lynn Bias. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on 1 minute. Uh, Now, Lynn Bias, man, was, I think, the person that would have ultimately been better than Michael Jordan, just in my opinion. Like I said, I don't think that Jordan was the end all be all when it comes to everything. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of other people feel that way. Uh, Lynn Bias, to me, just his raw athleticism from what you looked at, his size, because people have to realize that Lynn Bias was a few inches taller than Michael Jordan. He was listed at 6'8", 6'9". Uh, he had tenacious defense that nobody looked at, and on top of that, his athleticism was off the chart. And on top of that, Lynn Bias was a very good shooter in college, especially at the mid range. He was a very good shooter. You go look at those matchups uh, with him and other teams, and as well as Michael Jordan. Listen, Lynn Bias was a killer. Uh, you know, he was born in Maryland, in Landover, in 1963, and went to Northwestern High School. Um, you know, he ultimately grew, like I said, to be 6'8", weighing 210, which was uh, way taller than Michael Jordan. And during that time in college, you got to think of college because they were an inch smaller or whatnot. Jordan was about 6'5", uh, maybe about one. I say about like 180 something, 190 something, somewhere around there. Uh, Lynn Bias was a lot of people had to realize this. He was an All American in '86. He was a second team All American in '85. He was a two-time ACC Player of the Year, uh, uh, two-time first team All ACC. He was the ACC Athlete of the Year, and this is big too. He was the ACC Tournament MVP. Right when Jordan was in the league. Well, when Jordan was in college. I want people to realize that. Now, let's talk about the game because I know people want to go ahead and get right to the BS and get right to it. Okay, what's up with it, Stephen Brown? I see you in the building. Now, uh, the first game that they had played, Mike, the the Tar Heels, they ended up getting the best of Lynn Bias in the Maryland Terps. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay, now when they first initially had played against each other, the um, the Tar Heels ended up beating the Maryland Terrapins by one. They beat them 73 to 72. Okay, uh, but then later on that year, and I'm just talking about when Lynn Bias was a freshman. Later on that year, Lynn Bias ended up they played against Maryland again, and then I think it was they ended up. I think because they played them. They played them because Maryland was 10-1 and they were ranked fifth in the country, uh, and they were playing against the number one Carolina. Lynn Bias had put up 20-24. He outscored Jordan. And they ended up winning by 12 points. That is that second time they played. Okay, and Jordan ended up scoring 21, but they still got the victory. And Lynn Bias was sensational in that game. And then uh, they ended up I think they played in Maryland ended up winning the ACC tournament that year, and that's when Lynn Bias ended up earning the Most Valuable Player award, and Jordan was voted Conference Player of the Year. Uh, Bias had earned ACC Player of the Year honors in his junior and senior season, and nobody had ever done that in Maryland Terps history to win the award twice. Uh, now let's we know about the tragedy that had taken place. We know about the tragedy that had taken place, but I'm gonna get to that in just a few because I don't want to highlight the negative. I don't want to make that the negative point of this whole story because I like to highlight the positive things that went on with Lynn Bias, right? Listen, when they played against Lynn Bias, this was a freshman that was dunking all over the North Carolina Tar Heels, dunking over the likes of Brad Daugherty, dunking over the likes of Sam Perkins, who at that time Sam Perkins was Wasn't no punk. He could hoop too, and he was very smooth. That's why they used to call him Big Smooth. Uh, he was a terror on defense when it came to rebounding. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, now I believe that he just would have been a better NBA player because he could really shoot it from the mid range and uh, from beyond. You know, Lynn Bias was very efficient when he was shooting, and it was just like it was natural the way he was shooting. He was rugged, powerful, and finesse at the same time, and he was extremely smart and was his vicious attack on the rim was incredible. Uh, to combine all of that, I think that Jordan would have had his hand full because he had his hands full when he played when he played against Lynn Bias, all the time. Uh, I think people gotta really understand that these two guys right here, they would have, in my opinion, they would have actually carried the the NBA probably. I would say for the next, it would have been a rivalry for the next. I would say 8 to 9, possibly probably 10 years. And some people believe that Lynn Bias would have actually stopped Jordan from winning, as many championships as he did. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the beauty of that is that we'll never know. We'll never know. Um, but I mean, he was incredible, man. And a lot of people felt like he would have been better than Jordan. You always had these people out here that they want somebody to be better than Jordan. They want somebody to be better than this player. They want somebody to be better than that player. Now they did play. That it was like a friendly rivalry. You know what I'm saying? They played at a prestigious 5-star basketball camp, and they were the headliners. I'm just being honest with you. Uh, it like Michael Wilbon, man, had even said that when they were talking about the great swing players and everything. He had mentioned Jordan, he mentioned Mullen and Ralph Sampson, he mentioned Ewing, but he said Bias was the most awesome collegiate player out of the whole entire bunch. It's kind of like with when it came to Lenny Cook and LeBron James, that situation. Many of you don't know probably who Lenny Cook is unless you look them up. But Lenny Cook was at a lot of people projected Lenny Cook to be better than LeBron James. And it was kind of that situation, but we wouldn't have never known because with Lenny Cook's situation, he actually he fell victim to some stuff that was off the court. And much like with Lynn Bias, he ended up losing his life to the to drug use and everything. Oh, right. You're right, True Viking. You said they were both outstanding players. They both worked great. Yeah, they did, and the craft was unbelievable. Exactly. And True Viking knows a little bit about a guy like Lynn Bias because he's from out that way. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that's from Maryland, D.C. area, Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? That whole area right there, they know about Lynn Bias. And Lynn Bias, I'm telling you, man, he was ridiculous. This was back in the days when they were attacking the rim and people were meeting you at the rim, not just talking about it. No, these people were going to meet your ass at the rim. And look, if you got dunked on, you got dunked on. You got your shit blocked. You got your shit blocked. That's what was the NBA. That's what made the NBA. That's what made college. It was the rivalry. You know what I'm saying? People wanted to see like people go at each other. That was the matchup, and during that time, that was the matchup. People wanted to see Jordan versus Lynn Bias. I mean, Lynn Bias was that guy, man. He was that guy. But like I said, man, there were people already vouching for him, and Mike Wilbon just happened to be one of them. And Michael Jordan, they were saying that Michael Jordan would have killed to have that jumper at that time that Lynn Bias could really shoot it. Um, you know, when they were at the camp, when they were at the camp or whatever, Jordan's uh, Jordan's North Carolina teammate Buzz Peterson, and now he's like I think a general manager somewhere of the Charlotte Hornets. He said that Bias gave Bias gave Jordan problems, at that camp or whatever, and he said you could see the incredible drive in both of them, and he said Bias was just a humble spirited individual. You know what I'm saying? And it was shock. That's why it was shocking. When they ultimately, found out about Lynn Bias. And people got to understand that they only played against each other four times in college. You know what I'm saying? Because Jordan, Jordan ended up leaving, and he ended up leaving early. A lot of people, there was speculation if Jordan was going to leave or not. Some people wanted Jordan to stay another year or another season too. And Dean Smith really he wasn't really too fond of that. And I know a lot of people they look at the stats now because when Lynn Bias he scored 24 and Jordan scored 21 and everything. Some people look at those stats they're like, well, that's not enough. What you have to understand is that when it came to Dean Smith and really with college period, they wouldn't let you say I never met him personally, but when he died, I felt like he was a brother. Yeah, man, that like man, I'm telling you, that was a shocking day. It happened in 1986, right? And he was in his dorm room, and they were having a little shindig or whatnot, and uh, at that time, man, it was a combination of Ready Rock, it was cocaine, and you know, uh, crack or freebasing that had hit the scene in the 80s and stuff. But this was just straight, cocaine or whatnot. And uh, he ended up overdosing, you know. And this was supposed to be, it was, right before the draft, right, in '86, and you know, And I'm sorry about that. It was right before the season. Well, a little bit before the season. It was 2 days after being selected by the Boston Celtics. Because I'm sorry about that. It was 2 days after. Sorry about that, y'all. He had been selected, and then that's when he had suffered a heart attack due to cocaine overdose. So he was already set to go. He was gonna be a Boston Celtic, and I know True Viking would have loved that because then you got a guy from from Maryland, from that area, and on top of that, he's a Celtics, which True Viking is a Celtics fan. Oh man, you would have been loving it because he would have been able to fulfill everything that you had wanted. A guy from Maryland playing for your squad. You know what I'm saying? How lovely is that? But I believe that he would have it would have been a great rivalry because he would have been with the Celtics. The Celtics and the Bulls used to go at it during that time. Jordan was you know quickly evolving as becoming the premier player in the league uh, during that time. Even when guys like Magic, Isaiah, and Bird were running things. Yeah, well, cocaine was a hell of a drug. But I'm gonna be honest with you though, True Viking. What people gotta understand is that cocaine was of the norm. Especially when you talk about the '70s and the '60s and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Cocaine, it was it wasn't really that big of a deal, and that's why the NBA uh, was just starting to clean up that league. When Jordan came in, they uh, David Stern wanted to really clean up the image of the NBA and stuff like that in terms of the drug use and you know players not coming to practice, being lazy, and just messing up the overall product look of the NBA. There, Dominique, what's up? What's up with it, brother? I see you in the building. You said, who knows how good Lynn Bias would have been in the NBA? One thing is for sure, it does completely messed up the Boston Celtics for years. Yeah, it did. What's up with it, J. Steves? I see you in the building. Yeah, you said Michael. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was saying earlier. You got to rewind that back, J. Steves. Uh, he had a nice jump shot. The best thing that I could tell you, if you were trying to see Lynn Bias and see what he played like, look at the game. Look at the game when he played against Jordan, and against the Tar Heels. That I would say that second game, the first game I think they were trying to get a feel for each other, but Lynn Bias didn't care. He had this type of mentality to say, "Look, I'm ready. I don't care who you are." And Maryland at that time, you got to remember, Maryland was a force to be reckoned with, and they were in the ACC during that time. Uh, but yeah, during that time, cocaine, that was a drug that was during, it was of the norm, especially in the 70s. But David Stern did his best. That's why I give David Stern so much credit. He 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 was able to bring in international relations, um, in terms of, yeah, well, international relationships, and on top of that, he was able to clean up the NBA and clean up its image, and that helped a lot of stuff, in terms of the NBA. So, and I don't think David Stern gets enough credit for that. God rest his soul. It's not what you see right now with Adam Silver doing. It's okay, but nothing on the level of David Stern. And that's not taking anything away from Adam Silver, but he was more. Adam Silver is more social media and what's marketable. He's not into basketball, the structure and things of that nature. He's into what's trendy, if that makes any sense. And it's just that David Stern was on a whole nother level, and he credits Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan was kind of his like lightning rod, so to speak. But to have a guy, I'm going somewhere with this, to have a guy like Lynn Bias combination with a guy like Michael Jordan, the league would have been absolutely amazing. You still, man? It would have been absolutely amazing. Sorry, bro. Hold on. Hold on. I got. Sorry, y'all trying to help my son up. So hold on. But he clean. He really cleaned up the NBA, and I believe that it would have helped. It would have been a good storyline for Bias and Jordan. It would have been sort of like a magic bird type of thing. Coming out of college, they were rivals, friendly rivalries, and it would have been a great story to see. But see, I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of people didn't project Jordan to to even be as successful as he was. Everybody thought that Sam Bowie was gonna be the guy, or everybody thought that at that time his name was Akeem Olajuwon, not Hakeem. It was Akeem Olajuwon. They thought that he was gonna be better because they were both drafted uh before Jordan, you know, and that's what everybody thought. Hold on, man. No, 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 no. Here, too late. Hold on 1 second. Here you go. Come on. Stand up straight. Let's stand up straight. Uh, oh, okay. Come on. No, 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 no. Get up. Get up. Don't lay on that. Uh, come on. Go play. Max, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. What's up, Jacob?
What's happening?
Tell him, bro.
Man, I thought
What you got on it?
oh, what'd you say?
I said, what do you got on it? What you got on it?
Uh, like I said, like I was telling you earlier, man, I think Michael Jordan, I think Lynn Bias would have lived. I think it would have been an all-star rivalry, man, between them two. You would have saw two elite players. Uh, man, I think Jordan would still be as finesse as he was, but I think Lynn Bias would have pushed Jordan to even be even greater than what he already was. Already was. You know what I'm saying? Um, man, like I said, possibility, man. They could have shared a lot of championships, back and forth, beating each other, you know, uh, playing each other, and like I said, in games and playoffs, whatnot. You know, oh shit, see this man on a bike in a bad spot. But anyway, that's pretty much what I think, man. I think, like I said, man, I hate that cocaine took him out. Uh, if it was God's will, you know, like I said, now I want to see Lynn Bias. I ain't gonna let this, do this to him. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him be great, man. I just kind of feel like, man, it what, just maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't meant for him to really be seen. You know, maybe it was something down the road that would have been even more deadlier. You know what I'm saying? Probably would have happened. Yeah,
Right.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong with more because some things. You know, I was watching this cartoon, man. I know it's kind of crazy, but it was a time. Look, it was a time. It was a wall of time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A timeline, and the kid was watching his path on the wall of time or whatever, and he seen his life how it supposedly was gonna end. But it was like many years down the line, I guess, you know what I'm saying, when something was gonna happen to him with, he would get destroyed. And it made me kind of think like how he actually saw that before it happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who's to say if that could have I ain't saying Lynn Bias knew because he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew how cocaine, bad cocaine was. You know, nobody knew. But for the amount that he supposedly had took, I don't know. You know, uh,
Right.
it, 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 that's always gonna be a question of what if when it come down to them. But like I said, him playing against Jordan in college, you definitely seen that uh, he was gonna be a sensational star. He was gonna be great. He was gonna be a phenomenal player. I, you know, uh, Jordan wasn't the only one that showed greatness. He, and he was gonna show why he was, you know. So Lynn Bias said, "Hold on, wait a minute." You know, that would have been that would have been the case. I believe, and a lot of people believe that he was Jordan Nemesis, man. You know,
I mean, yeah, it would have been a great storyline. That's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if you heard me, but I believe that David Stern wanted that storyline to captivate the people because it would have been like a like a friendly rivalry, sort of like Magic and sort of like Bird, especially coming out of college, even though that they were uh they were different ages because you got to think Lynn Bias was a freshman when Jordan was about to leave. He was a sophomore. It was a 1 year difference, and Lynn Bias was about to leave a couple years later in '86. Another thing that we also have to remember too is that you know True Viking brought up something that was I was it was very key. He said that cocaine was a hell of a drug, and Jacob, you know, back in those days, well, even like in the '70s and the '60s, you remember cocaine was up the norm. Like people didn't see. You remember like how back in the days they didn't see cocaine like how they react to it now. Or, you know, well, at least like uh, I would say like maybe up until a couple of years ago. Now it's up the norm. It's not even no big deal anymore. But like people would snort a line or do a line or whatever and just keep on going. But for a while, people were like, "You do cocaine, something like that." You know, people the way that people react, they didn't react to it back in those days, unless of course, like this situation like this with Lynn Bias, and then when crack took over and freebasing, Ready Rock, and all that took over. You know, in the early to mid '80s and everything like that. Then it started to get big or whatever. You had the drug overdose that took place with Lynn Bias. Then, of course, you know, as you move into later in the '90s and stuff, into the '80s, going into the '90s and stuff like that, what really became the story was the was the drug wars between either you know drug lords or even gangs
hmm
because that's what they you know it wouldn't be so much over territory. It would be either over guns or it would be
yeah,
over artillery. It would be over drugs.
hmm
Just like what you're seeing right now in the movie or series like Snowfall. As a matter
right,
of fact, the Lynn Bias story was in Snowfall. I don't think people
yeah,
understand that, but you know the thing about it is that a lot of people don't understand that. It's like so when you did a line or whatever, it was kind of like people smoking weed or something like that. It was up the
yeah,
norm. So like people were. I had my younger cousin. My last point, Jacob. He was like, "Wow, they weren't tripping on cocaine like that back in the day." And all that stuff. I'm like, "No."
yeah,
I mean, like my mom's even said that. My uncles even said that. You know, people were fun. Listen, there were doctors, lawyers, judges, shoot, even pastors. You know, I hate to say it. I hate to put it that way. Principals, everybody, they would do a line before they go to work and shit like that. Smoke crack
yeah,
before they go to their job. Functioning,
yeah,
functioning addict.
right. Yeah,
What's
you
up,
right.
Lewis Sports Network? Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homie, my homie, Lewis Sports Network in the building, man. Go check out his channel, man. Go ahead, I think you got it. Why you eating over there? What you eat, Doritos?
Yeah,
You over
nigga.
here eating Cheetos, eating pork
Cheeto
rinds.
Supreme, nigga.
Motherfucker eating goddamn Fritos and shit.
Mm.
Let me stop, man, before we
Man,
start
that
going
burrito, this
off the
burrito,
rails.
hey, I'm down. This burrito is
You know,
good.
all it takes is talking shit to Jacob one time and we go off the rails. I talk about something else. But anyways, man. Yeah, man. It was up the norm, Jake. And anybody who was between the ages of, I would say, 37 to about 55 or 60, they would know that. They would know. You said Aaron Donald is the GOAT. Okay, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Is the goal of what?
that that has. I mean, we're not talking about that, but I mean, if you feel that way, hey,
Who? Hold on, hold on, hold
power
on,
to
hold on. Tribe. Hell, you talking about, nigga? Hey,
you.
baby,
Yeah, well,
I got to
Louis,
switch to my brown sugar.
hey, Louis, whether they like it or they don't like it, and whether they subscribe or they don't subscribe, what I'm saying. I got people that don't, what I'm saying. That's the way I see it. You know what I'm saying. Like I said, man, I don't do it for the numbers. I'm doing this because I know Steven. Steven wanted to really dig into this. It's funny. I thought Steven was gonna pull up. Um, shout out to Steven if you're out there, Steven Green. But I've been wanting to talk about this, huh, Jake? Everybody knows I want to talk about True Viking. She's from out that way, so and she knows about Lynn Bias, man. Man, Lynn Bias was that guy. Lynn Bias was dog. He had everything. He had a better jumper. You hear me? Like a better jumper. He was more fluid. He was way more athletic than Jordan was, even though he was taller. You know what I'm saying? And I will say that Jordan was probably faster because Jordan ran a 4.3. Jordan ran a 4.3. That's fast. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous speed.
Mm-hmm.
At 6'6", because I ran a 4.5, and I'm shorter than Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I'm
I don't
I'm
even
not
know. My,
not that.
I never ran a 40, so I won't even know.
Well, when you go to see, if you play any sport, especially basketball, or if you play football, they test your 40, they test your vertical,
Mm-hmm.
especially in football, like they do a standing vertical jump, you do a standing long jump. You know what I'm saying? In track, you got to do the same thing, and in basketball, you got to do the same thing, especially in the off season. And then they test it again to see how well you have progressed going in from your freshman year into your sophomore year into your junior year, and then in the senior year they want to see where you at, especially if you get highly recruited. What's wrong, man?
God damn. How long does it take to
Hold on.
turn in the damn driveway? I remember time for a complete stop. My God. Anyway, like I said, white polo on on mute. Lynn Bias was good though, man. I watched his highlights him in college. I was like, man, I hated that happened to him though. Real talk, man. Really hated that happened to Lynn Bias, man. But I think he got a hold of too much of that coke. I think that cocaine was too damn strong, man. And like I said, it took him out. Cause from what I looked up, or at least from what I read, it said that well, how many grams was that? He took 3 to 5 grams. Uh, yeah, he had like 3 or 5 grams in his system, so he definitely overdid it.
By y'all. You said I'm glad you do it from the heart. This channel is therapeutic. I mean, but we try to bring a lot of things to this channel. Try to bring variety. Try to bring a sense of good feeling to everybody, man. Talk about sports. Just a little while ago, we talking about uh, I'm sorry about that. Tracy Braxton, God rest
Hmm.
his soul.
Hmm.
I mean, we talk about
Oh,
array of things. We get off the rail a little bit, but listen, man, I don't try to be because I want people to be themselves. Oh no, we gotta stay on topic. Put a gun to somebody's head to stay on topic. Look, man, it's gonna happen. It's just like being at a black barbecue. You know what I'm saying? It's like being at a damn spades party or something like that. Niggas ain't gonna stay on topic. Then we gonna go off the rail. Niggas might get into it. You know what I'm saying? Then they back to playing spades again. Then next thing you know, they up dancing, doing the fucking electric slide or the cha cha cha, you know, or,
ah,
or down Judy Brown, whatever, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, or next thing you know, uh, then some people then they eat their food and then it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, but through all of that, they still having a good time.
shit. As long as somebody reach down in that cooler and give me another beer.
Or reach in the cabinet.
Mm, 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 mm.
All right, yeah. Yeah, but I do some of everything over here, man. Like the boy Jacob Jennings, man. He be everywhere with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to get back on the rails, uh, Lynn Bias, he was going to be great. He
Mm.
was going to be great. Now, if you could go back and you could go look at Lynn Bias, one thing that was another thing that was great amongst many things about him was the fact that he played both ends of the floor. Like he was a terror on defense too. For his size, he could move out on the perimeter. Because I think people forget that Lynn Bias was 6'8", 6'9".
Mm-hmm. Who's the
You know,
date?
he was going to do it all. He could run the floor. Uh, I mean, he was dunking over guys like Brad Darty and Sam Perkins, and I want people to understand that Brad Darty and Sam Perkins and James Worthy were all projected to be better than Michael Jordan coming out of Carolina. Remember that, Jacob? They were
Yeah.
projected. Yeah, they weren't talking about Michael Jordan like that until as he got better. But even then, Michael Jordan he was the conference player of the year. But what's his name? Lynn Bias had the Maryland Terrapins. They won the whole ACC tournament, and Lynn Bias was the ACC MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lynn Bias was good, man. No doubt.
Man, Lynn Bias was a beast.
I mean,
I mean, good
he
was an
he
under.
he.
He was a beast. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, well, no, like I said, that's why I said I think if Lynn Bias would play, I think he would have. Him and Jordan would have shared some of those championship runs with with the teams they've on.
You think they set? You think they set Lynn Bias up?
Uh,
I, I get, and I don't like to do it. You know me, Jacob. I don't like conspiracy. I can't stand them. You more into that. But when I look at that stuff, man, I be thinking, man, what if somebody like did some foul shit like that to me?
the only way to really know, you would have to ask the people that was with Lynn Bias, and who probably keeping quiet about it. They can't talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Because when you do documentaries, you gotta get the story from those that not just what they heard, but from those who was actually there during that time celebrating with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I can really tell you. I know what you. I know. I mean, man, some of this stuff I don't want to talk online, man, about it. You know?
Yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from. Look, but I mean, look, I'm gonna just say it like this, okay? Because I mean, look, we can voice our opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna go into detail, but sometimes I realize I feel like there were people involved in his demise. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, Jacob. I felt like, just like how I feel about Deshaun Watson. I'm gonna voice my
Yeah.
mother freaking opinion about that. You know why? Because I feel like that I'm gonna be real. I feel like the Shield was involved in that. I feel like the Shield and the Houston Texans organization did that to that man on purpose. They set him back a year just so that he could come back, and then next thing you know, that's gonna be a storyline. Well, Deshaun Watson, if he happens not to be the same, he is not the same. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then next thing you know, they're gonna move on. They got what they want.
And you know what? Swish. What up, coach?
Yo, what's up with it, Sonny? I see you in the building. Been a little quiet
What?
ever since James Harden been struggling. You know what I'm
Oh, whatever.
saying?
Fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
Look,
I don't want to talk about James Harden.
man, hey, look, he was like, James Harden, man, he's nicer than Steph Curry and all this other stuff. Man, James Harden can't even show up when you need it. But
Man, you
that's a
hear
whole
this swish?
other
You hear this swish? This nigga always talking about James Harden. Talking about his own teammate, nigga.
story. Man, he ain't my teammate. My
Yeah, he
teammate,
is,
my
nigga. He on
teammate
your
don't
team,
give up.
nigga. What you mean?
My
Talking about he
teammate,
ain't on
my
your.
teammate, my teammates play both ends of the floor. Hey, coach, your players they play both ends of the floor, right? Your players better not be out partying, with strippers and all that other stuff, and they come in slacking the very next game. Ain't that right, coach?
Shit.
Huh?
no, man, shit, hey.
But Jacob will though. Jacob come in all hungover, smell like weed, and
Shit, I'm at that party too. Yo, what up, James? uh,
just
uh,
left the women's
uh,
NXT
uh.
championship. Okay.
Mm.
All right, you hold on one sec. You said but I swear I really truly believe I wasn't an overdose if you look at it. Oh, it wasn't an overdose. And jealousy, yeah, I believe that too. That's why Jacob don't really want to go thorough into it. But you rated on my Harden is an exception when at night he could drop 50. You gotta let him slide a little bit. Yeah, right. Let him slide on what? He hasn't accomplished anything. Steph Curry has at the highest order. He's had and Joel Embiid too, and they get the smoke as well as Doc Rivers. Hey, look, the guy switch life. This guy failed to show up. Oh, but he was so worried about getting that record and passing Reggie Miller on the all-time three pointers so he can get a payday. Meanwhile, LeBron up there, listen, as much as they criticize LeBron and say LeBron ain't this and LeBron ain't that, he's putting up 50. He's putting up 50 when it really mattered. Yeah, it was against a mediocre team and a struggling Wizards, but he putting up 56 and everything like that. Oh, Harden, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you want to show up against Minnesota. You want to show up against New York, but you don't want to show up. You don't even want to play against Miami. And then you play like you know what against against Brooklyn. Makes no sense.
Oh man, boy,
The way that
James
coach
Harden.
sounds, the way that coach sounds, the way that coach sounds, he sounds like he coaches his team better than that. He expects more out of his team. You know, be a professional, Jacob. Don't be a team destroyer or a team cancer.
Well, I mean, hey, man, I mean,
But he's still getting paid. All right, yeah, we know where you gonna go with that. And he still got money.
nah, nah.
He's still starting all that other stuff. Go ahead.
I mean, but I mean,
Yeah, yeah. See,
shit. Am I shit? Am I lying? Am I lying? Is James Harden breaking any NBA? Is he breaking any rules of the NBA? Is he violating any rules, any team rules, or any rules contrary to the NBA?
Yeah, he violating the code of conduct. He's supposed to conduct yourself.
He violated the code of conduct for partying.
No, I'm saying like from a professional standpoint. We find it odd. We find it odd that James Harden could come out here and stink up the joint and play like trash and
Mm.
not just trash, Bubba Dub trash. You know, and
Yeah, I see you, Queen. I hear you, baby. Hey,
you know
baby, girl, I'm at the pancakes house looking for you wearing that you know what I'm saying, wearing that outfit on. You know what I'm saying?
wearing that skirt.
I need a look. Give me some more of that. Hey, baby, give me some more of that syrup. You know what I'm saying? You hear me, Queen? Give me some more of that syrup, baby. I ain't getting enough.
Well,
I didn't get enough of you. I didn't get enough of you, True Viking. I did not get enough. I'm still waiting for a cup.
hold on 1 minute, Jacob. All right,
Mm-hmm.
hold it for me.
I'm
Uh,
still waiting for a cup, baby. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
We got the number one grinder come to find you. He in the
The
building,
number
y'all.
one grinder. Try to find you.
Mm-hmm.
Number one grinder. You remember that song? You remember that song with Master P and Jacob? You remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a heaven for a gangster? Gangster, gangster. Ah!
Ah!
You remember that grinder?
Uh-huh.
I guess grinder fell out.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, okay, man.
Well,
I just finished my live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we over here talking about Lynn Bias. I know
Oh
you seen Lynn Bias, and I know
yeah,
you know he was a chair. Go
yeah,
ahead,
very,
speak.
very underrated on both sides. Both sides. Ball. What could have been, man?
yeah, yeah.
Cause
What could have been?
he was that. I told him he was that good. I'm not talking about like offense, but defense too. He was that good, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think that. Well, I still think that, man. There's something happened, man. I don't think he just took it.
Hey, you know what?
Exactly,
Number one
grinder.
grinder.
Huh?
You know what? I was thinking the same thing about Donny Hathaway, man. When Donny Hathaway was in New York in that hotel, and I was like, I don't get it. If he had some type of disorder, right? Like uh like suicidal or schizophrenic, whatever you want to call it. If he had some type of disorder, right? Why didn't his wife or anybody uh make sure that he had some type of supervision or somebody watching him and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Knowing that, he was having those type of thoughts or whatever going on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think, because
That's true.
a lot of people were saying that they don't believe that he just jumped like that. Some people feel like somebody killed him. A lot of
That's
people do
true.
not
Yeah.
believe that Donny Hathaway just committed suicide. A lot of people don't believe that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Right. And I'm telling you, I don't believe that really happened to Lynn Bias, man. I don't believe that shit, man. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he probably smoked some weed. Yeah, I think he probably smoked. I think they probably put in, man. I don't trust that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray all right, you Vice. I'm gonna be pray that these hams become yams on a plate. You know what I'm saying? Number one grinder.
Oh,
But
somebody being bad today. Man, become yams. Hey, look, now, let me ask you a question. Now, the yams gotta be nice though. You gotta understand that. Can I be hard, man? It's gotta be.
let it just glaze on the side. Let it just glaze.
Yeah. I like little soft yummy yams, like some little bouncy on it.
Yeah, so you gotta let that just glaze.
Right, this glaze, yeah. The only time you get some yams when you buy them from the store. When you peel them off, let me add next. Oh yeah, I like a shaky yam. I don't like no straight skinny yam. Yam gotta have some
Uh,
weight. Gotta have some weight.
yeah, but yeah, man. I truly think that uh like I said, man, I truly think that listening to his story, because I actually had watched, I said, man, I had to go back and see, because like, I like music.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to watch some videos,
Yeah.
and uh Donny Hathaway was saying that he felt like, you know, he said he felt like white people was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And
They thought he
I'm
was
thinking at
crazy.
that point, huh?
And they thought he was crazy saying that.
Yeah, they thought he was that's exactly that's exactly what they thought. They thought something was he was just like schizophrenic, like something was wrong with him,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
see, yeah, but as
But
you know, when we get back to Lynn Bias in a few seconds. But if you think about it, if you listen what Donny Hathaway was singing about,
uh-huh, yeah,
he was challenging the system.
right,
And he did things his way. You know what I'm saying? And we
yeah,
gotta understand the powers of be did not want that.
yeah.
They
No,
didn't want it.
it was like this. Uh, a lot of people, like all the greats now, or a couple of greats, like some people don't think Paul Williams killed himself. You know what I'm saying? Uh, now Paul Williams joined Temptation um in the '60s, around like I said, a couple years before David Ruffin did. Now a few years, yeah, he was at like early '60s, something like that. Few years, like a few years right before David Ruffin had joined.
Yeah,
It's like 63, 64 or something like that.
Paul Williams passed away in '73.
Yeah, I
Um,
know what year he passed away. I'm talking about
no,
this
I'm
during the
saying
time.
to myself. No, I'm saying thinking out
Oh,
loud.
oh, okay, my bad, Grinder. Uh, my bad, bro. But now I was saying that yeah, all I was saying was he basically, like I said, when he died in '73,
Paul
uh,
Williams.
he uh he basically some people was believing that some people were believing that uh Paul Williams, that his death was skeptical, you know, and a lot of people didn't believe that, you know, uh they thought something was fishy. And but like I said, there was a few speculators who thought that. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good. Yeah, a lot of people that would speculate had thought that, something was fishy
Mm-hmm.
about him dying, because he was trying to get back with the group.
Mm-hmm.
And then uh Paul Williams, he did he only uh he only started drinking because of his he had sickle cell or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Exactly. Yeah.
it was a sickle cell or pneumonia.
It was sickle
Uh,
cell.
yeah, he had sickle cell, something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and it was making him sick. And he started drinking alcohol. Alcohol was the only thing that was
Yeah.
helping him. That's the only thing that was. That's the only thing that was helping him, I guess, at the time. With his because he was coughing, and he was coughing a lot doing that, and that was one thing that was helping kind of. It didn't help him, but it was it did it was affecting him in a lot of his performances. You know what I'm saying? Like he was getting drunk. You know, like I guess got so bad. Paul was so sick that shit he couldn't stay sobered up enough to he couldn't stay sobered up enough to even perform. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, between them two, a lot of people don't believe that they committed suicide
Oh,
like that.
you talking about Temptation?
Yeah, Paul Williams and Donny
Yeah.
Hathaway. A lot of people don't believe that they committed suicide. Like Donny Hathaway, for him to be schizophrenic and stuff like that, why didn't his wife or nobody ask for or make sure that he had some type of, you know what I'm saying, security or something? I know they wasn't super duper rich, but golly, you would think.
Right.
You know.
Now, y'all, let me ask y'all something.
Yeah.
Who did they base the Five Heartbeats on?
The Dales.
That again?
The Dales.
Oh.
No, I was asking who did they base the Five Heartbeats on?
The Five Heartbeats was based off the group, the Dales.
Okay.
I think it was based off of them. Yeah.
Right, because I know some people were speculating the Temptations, but I was like, nah, what? It couldn't have been the Temptation. I just in
Mm.
my opinion.
Yeah. No, Five Heartbeats was based off the group, the Dales.
Hmm.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but that's what I believe. It was based off of.
because I want them to talk about more of some of these groups to the. You go into some of those stories where they dummied it down for back in the days, but I want them to go into the more modern version, like the biopic that they're doing now, kind of like what they're doing with Showtime and stuff. They're going to exaggerate it a lot for Hollywood purposes and everything, but it's still a great thing to see. It's just like with No Limit, with the whole No Limit, how they did the biopic and that. I felt like that was wonderful, but you still had some controversy because there were people coming out trying to get the clout and all of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't nothing wrong with him, and a lot of people, to say the truth, they're tired of selling their soul, and most of them claim they suicide or drug overdose. Yeah, you got a point, True Viking. Yeah,
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 because because people believe that that people believe that the powers that be had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So when 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 it gets to that point, when you hear the powers that be, that sound like. So look, for a couple of years, Donny Hathaway was basically he didn't come out of he didn't come out with an album. He was actually he was like on a 1 or 2 year layoff uh, for a minute, and then when he came back in '78, it was like '77, '78 or something like that. He came out with a with a hit joint, and you know what I'm saying. In other words, it was like shit. All right, here's your. In other words, they basically probably was like, well, here's your last chance to try to, you know, you know, uh, so join, pretty much sell out, do this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And shoot, when you tell them no, it seemed like that star or whatever come up dead. And they fabricate the story. Think about he was at a hotel. Why the fuck he was 14 fucking floors way up? You know what I'm saying? Any damn way.
Yeah.
Why was he so fucking high up in the damn hotel like that? Oh
I,
man, I just don't.
I was
Shit
thinking
don't
about,
add up to me.
you know, who death don't add up to me is Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke death never added
Yeah.
up to me.
And I'm
And
telling you,
and,
yeah.
Dizzy the Dizzy Gillespie and Cap Calloway situation.
Yeah, that Sam Cooke thing too. I believe he was set up.
Yeah, he thought he was.
He was set up. People talking about, oh no, he was set up. And that woman, that black woman, they can say all they want. They pay her off some money. And basically, because Sam Cooke was not giving up his publishing. He said, nah.
Shoot, hey, Grinder, and Jacob knows this. Pimp C. You know, Pimp C. He
Yeah.
put a lot of people on blast. Next thing you know, oh, he died of an overdose.
Nah, they killed him.
You know,
They
but
killed
because
him, man. Guess
he,
what? They killed him, and so I want, man. That's why I say I talk about this. I gotta talk about this separate. I don't trust YouTube.
Nah, yeah, you gotta be real careful. Because when I was doing my music thing, right? Somebody asked me, "What you do a story behind Donnie Hathaway of saying?" Cause I said, "You mean talking about talking like this?" I said, "You talking about the music? I can talk about the music. No, the other stuff." I said, "No, I can't do that." I said, "I can't do it. Nope." Mm-mm.
but
They
yeah,
said,
it's a
they
lot
said
of
you can do it. I said, "No, I can't. I can't. I could break it down. I could talk about the current events." I said, you gotta understand the powers that be. Mm-mm. It's working right now."
and we already got strikes. You know, because we're LDBC and everything, and we already go against the fabricated fake media news wants you to believe. You know, we go against that. We're gonna give you the real. We, you know, we're gonna give you what they don't want you to hear, and they already don't like that. But guess what? They stealing from us. They'll steal from Grinder. They steal from me. They steal from other guys. They even steal from people that get on here and talk. You know, they'll steal from Jacob Jennings. They're stealing their talking points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, if you really watch it, you know, because some people just think, oh well, you know, Polo just getting on here, da 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 da. Yeah, you could think I'm da 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 like I'm Ezel, but guess what? Ezel was smart than a motherfucker, right? Ezel, he said, man, I ain't the smartest man in the world. you, you understand what I mean? But you know, you could keep on thinking that, man. I'm gonna look at your talking points, Nick wrong. I'm gonna look at every single talking point and what you're saying, whether it's NBA countdown, NFL today. Y'all think y'all slick? Y'all not slick. Cause what do we talk on this channel? We talk football. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I'm gonna listen to what you're saying with the whole boxing thing. Yeah, we talk boxing too. You know, you think I'm not listening? Nah, I'm hearing everything that you're saying. And who's the master at stealing talking points? People like people like Chris Broussard, people like Stephen A. Smith, people like Nick Wrong, people like Shannon Sharp. People like even fucking Skip Bayless. Yeah, I'm calling you out. I don't care if you don't like it. Oh, Polo, don't do that. Nah, I'm put you on blast because you know it's true. I give you a prime example. Man, I give you a prime example. Man, they had the nerve to steal from the homie antisocial because they stole from him because antisocial. Hey, got on. Shout out to antisocial too. He got on. I think it was on Ticket's channel, and, and everybody was getting on antisocial about when he had said that DeMar DeRozan would be probably the best person to play more like a person that plays in the '90s. Man, about a week later, guess what? They said the same talking point on. I think it was undisputed, and I was like that. They wouldn't have never known that if they would have probably not listened to one of the videos. And everybody and their mom thought that he was crazy for saying something like that. They was like, "What do you mean, DeMar DeRozan?" Da 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 da. But he was like, "You got to think about it. He plays mid range. The way his style was and stuff, it was more suited for the mid range." And so, he had made he made a good point. I didn't really fully disagree or anything like that, but I really had to go back and look what he was saying, and I understood it. So then they want to go ahead and they want to take that. They try to take everything, man. They some thieves. They took from Ticket plenty of times, Two Raw, LB. They take from all of them.
Yeah.
But
That's great. Yeah. But get
people,
back to Lynn Bias. Nah, I don't believe everything they talk about Lynn Bias.
yeah, the Maryland Terrapins.
There's something happened. I think something happened after.
Oh yeah.
They don't want to say it. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say again. I'm gonna be real careful saying this. And I
Hmm.
believe the powers of be got something to do with it. There's some that to me, there's some they want me to do. He said, "No, I'm not gonna do it." I'm gonna do something. Okay. And sometimes they use some of our people to destroy each other anyway.
Man, that's fact. That's fact.
Do so. People want to. Sometimes people they want to get the Bible certain things, but they don't want to. But they know they don't want to say nothing. So I give them some money, do this. I promise you, your family take care. Nah, but and the sad thing about some of these people, they still here. That's the sad thing about it. Oh. But Lynn Bias, great talent, man. I would tell you, he would have been an all-time great.
We need to make a black YouTube. It's true. That's what we're trying to do. True. I'm not sure we should be able to say what we want. Yeah, that's that's the whole point of uh the LGBT. You know what I'm saying? But of course, we got to be like Grinders just said, and Jacob just said, we got to be careful. We tired of saying that. We got to be careful. We no. Oh, you know what? I don't want to say. Nah, that's our nature. That's our culture. Freedom of expression.
Yeah, but it really look that freedom of see a lot of people all talk about freedom of expression, right? But here's this, yeah, you can free to say what you want, but guess what? You when hey facts. If I'm stating facts and when a person's stating facts and truth, you can say whatever you want. Cause guess what? That don't change the fact of what was done. You know what I'm saying? Or what we allege, or what we believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, didn't happen.
I say this though. When I see it like this, they say we have freedom of speech, but we really don't. It's always restrictions when you get close to the truth. It's always restriction. Oh no. You cannot say that. Especially you find out the truth. Oh no, you cannot say that. You talking to me? You mean so to them? You talking too much?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nah. Oh, mm-mm.
Uh-oh. Alert.
You heard that right? You know what that sound means?
That's a it's a Amber Alert.
Yeah, we got an Amber Alert. I got one too.
Yeah. We got snow.
No, 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 no. A kidnapping.
Oh wow.
Um, but yeah, you're right. You're right about that. True. You said they listening. Of course they are. Everybody you just named been on their knees a couple times for them. Oh my God, True Bite is something else, man.
True Viking, baby. Girl, won't you go ahead and fill me up of that cup of that syrup. Talk about talking about you are a Christian woman. Well, guess what? I'm not a Christian man. I am uh, what am I? Hell, shit.
Nah, but Lynn Bias, man, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
hold on,
it's
your
a,
phone not going off?
huh?
Your phone not going off?
Yeah, it did. Remember I told you I got an Amber Alert.
Yeah. Franklin, Texas.
Yep, yes, sir. Um, they had an alert on here. They said Jacob took a couple of dogs from out of the pound.
The fuck?
Took a couple of pit bulls. He took a couple of pit bulls from the vet. Nah, but yeah, man. When we talk about stuff like this, man, and the Lynn Bias situation. Uh, Listen, I'll take it a step further. This probably gonna. I know everybody's gonna be like natural causes and all this other stuff. Man, I believe Hank Gathers was set up by his own. Look, and Paul Westhead, he knew he knew damn well that Hank Gathers had 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 a situation because he fainted like a couple times before that. He was fainting in practice. He having dizzy spells and all of that stuff, but he still kept running the same damn style of play, which was run and press non-stop, just run and gun, non-stop running. Y'all remember that Loyola Marymount? And then he ended up, yeah, Hank Guys is a Philly legend. And Trey Cater, I disagree with you on that. What you said on that take about James Harden and Russell Westbrook leading the NBA in
Salute,
turnovers.
Trey.
Now you said that was in H Town. Yeah, in H Town that probably could have been the case. But I'm talking about this year. Is James Harden just eclipsed everybody on the turnover ratio? Russell Westbrook turnovers have went down, but they're still criticizing him, still calling him a turnover machine when you got two players ahead of him that are leading the league in turnovers. So we gotta definitely. Oh, okay, that was your point. Okay. Yeah. Okay, because they they like to sit here and make a generalization about, oh yeah, well, such and such. They always talking about the past. They never want to talk about the present. They don't want to talk about how this guy is improved. Like when it comes to Giannis, they still think that Giannis doesn't have a jumper just because he's not pulling up from 40 like Durant or pulling up from such and such like a guy like Steph Curry or something like that. And Steph Curry has been the one that's been struggling. Okay, I understand. I was saying that they were on the same team, still had more turnovers. Oh, okay. Yeah. Exactly. But they don't talk about that. The stigma has always been how many mistakes can we pinpoint on a guy like Westbrook. They never talk about the good things that he brings to the table. They talk about how inefficient he is. They talk about how low of a basketball IQ he has. They talk about he's not suited to run a run a point guard position. Blah 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 blah. They even go ahead and say he's not a defender. Last time I checked, he played both ends of the floor. That's the last time I checked. What do you call hustling for rebounds? What do you call trying to do everything that you can to get to your man? What do you call being top 1 through 5 in steals? Think he even led the league in steals once upon a time. You said LeBron James has most turnovers in history. Yeah, I know, but Russ is that guy. LeBron is top 10. Yeah, and I tried to stop from talking about LeBron. LeBron James' name is just gonna come up. So, and I noticed that whenever see, I try to deflect from talking about like LeBron all the time because then that makes people. Well, all you do is just base this channel on talking about LeBron. No, I don't. But Trey Taylor, you'll come in and you'll say something like that, then all of a sudden, guess what? They're like, Oh well, he was all he does is talk about LeBron, and when you could just be making a point. But like, I don't even use LeBron as a measuring stick for anything. Just like I don't use Jordan as a measuring stick because I know how people act, and we know that LeBron has made his mistakes. We know that LeBron has done this and done that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like to always. To me, that's a lazy way of doing things. Let's talk about somebody else throughout the course of history that was very inefficient. Jason Williams is a prime example. I'm talking about white chocolate. He used to lead the league with like four turnovers a game back then in a slower pace era. You said it's snowing over there. Hey, is it snowing over there, Grinder? Where you at? I think Grinder done left. I know Jacob has too. I
I'm sorry.
appreciate y'all.
No, I'm sorry. I had to mute. I had to mute. It was raining, but it's supposed to snow.
Yeah, it's sunny over here. They said it was supposed to snow though over here in Texas, and
Yo, yeah, I got a thing. Yeah. Last night is it's supposed to rain and snow over here, but it's been raining off and on. Tell you that
okay.
much.
They said it was a freeze warning where we were at. Everybody was anticipating a freeze warning, but it's sunny over here.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, the sun is out. I went out with the kids, man. They out here playing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know it's
okay, hold on. Let me wipe your notebook. You said, yeah, white chocolate claimed calm down. Huey Brown in Memphis played slower pace. Yeah, he did. He did. That's when he actually learned how to execute as a point guard. Actually learned how to play the point guard position fundamentally how it was supposed to be played. Listen, he made it to the NBA. I give him that. He made it to the league. Uh, but he was all about flash, but was inefficient. Oh, okay, hold on.
yeah.
Yeah, Grinder, he was, and now that I look back on it, okay, yeah, back then he was enjoyable to watch, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't really see it like that coming up.
Yeah.
All I saw was an elbow pass to Weber or, these little the little stuff he used to do. Oh, white chocolate, da 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 da. But I was like, I was watching him one day, Grinder, and my cousin said, dog, he is not gonna succeed in the NBA for very long at a high level. And I didn't understand what he meant, but now I understand. And Hubie Brown he was a decent coach. He's one of the most underrated and underappreciated coaches.
Yeah. And you know another coach is like that? Rick Allen.
Ah, yeah, man, Rick Adelman. I wasn't a fan of Rick. Why you mention him, Brandon? But yeah, but he could never get over the hump, though, man.
But I can tell you one thing, he's
Right,
very excellent. I'm gonna tell you, he's very excellent on offense though.
right, right, right.
He is. He knows the role of all five positions. I can give you that much. Yes, he is.
Who you?
He's all right on defense though. He's all right. He's all right. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, he's better than Tips.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, he is.
Who you think was better though? Do you let me ask you this, Grinder. Who you think was better out of Rick Adelman and George Carl?
I get just a slight edge to call because he came from
You got
came
to
from
the
Carolina, a Christian. You know that means a lot. Means a lot. But Rick Allen ain't far from it.
yeah
Yeah. That's right. Hold on. He was.
yeah, but like that's why I always say and I always have this argument about coaches Grinder uh, and everybody else.
Yeah.
Like as much as they want to put Phil, they always put Phil at the top of coaching, but I got Larry Brown as
Yeah.
as the top. And okay, I know people are gonna say, well, what about Red Auerbach and all this other stuff? I never witnessed Red Auerbach like that. I witnessed Larry Brown.
Oh.
And some people might say, okay, yeah, if you look at the history books and stuff like that. But okay, I can understand Grinder saying somebody that you know that he watched or something like that. But if you 20 something years old and you say, yeah, Red Auerbach, no,
Yeah.
that makes no sense. I'm not gonna understand that, but I could say Larry Brown because I witnessed Larry Brown even at his older age. He was able to be successful with the Detroit Pistons and what he did, and then he was also successful somewhat when he went to the 76ers. They didn't get over the hump, you know what I'm saying? But what they had to work with, they had AI and they had somewhat decent players or whatever, and a lot of role players and stuff, and still was able to work wonders and still play up against a juggernaut in the LA Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all comes down to coaching and see. That's why like a lot of people they're like, oh yeah, they're jumping on the train about Brooklyn and Philly and all this other stuff. Man, they still got to go in there. They still got to make adjustments. They got to make adjustments and they still got to execute. And Grinder knows that's why like he keeps saying, y'all think Grinder crazy for saying Tibbs got to go. I guarantee you, if you put Mark Jackson in that situation, Mark Jackson, he's not an X's and O coach. Yeah, he might not be, but I guarantee you he'll bring the best out of those players you have over there right now.
Yeah.
Am I lying, Grinder?
No.
If he had a guy, you give Mark Jackson a guy like a Emmanuel Quickly, he'll bring the best out of Quickly because Quickly plays the position that he plays.
You know what? Of both ends of the court. Can I leave that out?
Right. That's facts. That's facts, man. And I think it's a crying shame that they're blackballing this guy, just like they tried to blackball Melo, you
Yeah.
know. But meanwhile, hey Grinder. Meanwhile, they let a guy, and this is no disrespect to Tyreek Evans, but Tyreek Evans is on his last leg, on his last chance, and just got let back into the NBA. And you gave him another chance. Okay, well, what about Mark Jackson?
Yeah.
Mark Jackson is a student of the game. He's an NBA veteran that played a long time. But it's not like Mark Jackson had a short-lived career or nothing like that. He was successful somewhat in the league.
Top five in assists.
Yeah.
I understand, you know.
Rhonda, I'm gonna shut this down in just a second. I'll be back in just a minute though, okay? Polar Sports Talking Entertainment. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homie Grinder. I'll be back in a minute, y'all. Like the video, share, subscribe, hit the notification. Polar Sports Talking Entertainment.
Right.
I'll be back.
Peace.